John Beaudin here from Rock History Music. Slightly different video right now. We're about to report on the Genesis Phil Collins Nick story in a second in this very bedroom. But first, I wanted to share with you, and I never say it enough, but thank you so much for the support that we get from you on this channel. It means an awful lot. I wanted to share this with you because this is not my childhood bedroom, but this is my teenage bedroom. Before I moved out west, this is where I was. I was the only kid in this family that had his own bedroom. The walls in this bedroom, I'll get to the good stuff in a second, are heavily insulated because of the fact that I played a lot of music in here. I used to play radio guy right behind me. I used to pretend I was a radio announcer. I had 2 turntables and I'd do a lot of announcing and I'd critique myself and I'd realize I didn't have a radio voice, which I still don't. But I found that out in this room when I first heard my recorded voice thinking, oh my God, I'll never be a radio announcer. So the reason I'm showing you this room is because a lot of you have asked me questions about things like, were you popular in school? Well, somewhat. I played hockey, but I wasn't like the popular guy, but I was the music guy. People would come up to me and say, I remember in 79, a lot of my friends coming up to me and saying, hey, what do you think of Breakfast in America by Supertramp? And I was the guy to ask that to. My friend John Scott was like that too. We were really good friends. But they asked me that because they want to know, like, hey, what were you doing in high school? Well, this is what I was doing in high school. This is the wall. In high school, there were people in my class, the ones who came, sorry about the camera work, they would come in and they would check out the wall. And we all called it the wall. It was black. This is all black light. Yeah. Black light paint. My mom wouldn't get rid of it. She said, I'm not, I said, Mom, you can cover it up or paint over it. She said, no way. And it took me 2 years and it's still not finished. Hold on. Let me just show you. There's the wall. That is the wall. Look, Boston's up there, 10cc. There's a Canadian band called Bond, which I really liked. I've gotten to know one of the members of that band. Russia's not finished. See that right on top of my head? Still not finished because by August 21st, 1979, I moved away from home. I moved out west. There's Pink Floyd. I made up that one. Nothing on this wall is stenciled. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm actually looking at what you're looking at so I can give you a clear shot. Nothing is stenciled on here. I did it all by hand. It started with April Wine. They were my favorite Canadian band. Then I did Chicago. Remember, not stenciled. I spent a lot of time on this. Drawing and this kind of work is very hard for me. I did a lot of drawing when I was growing up, quite a bit. I wanted to be an artist before I decided to be a radio announcer, but look at the Eagles right beside me. See, that proves it's not stenciled because that's a little crooked. But there's a lot of bands on here that I loved. Sometimes I would use a logo from a band that I just thought they had a nice logo. And I also really liked middle-of-the-road music in high school. I liked rock. I mean, there are Zeppelins down there. I made that up. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, look, Wild Cherry. But look, Heart, that was one of the first ones I did. I don't know. I just wanted to share that with you. People call it the wall. There's some more. Look, I even have, where is it? I've got to show you this. Look, my friends would laugh at this. I have the Captain and Tennille on there. Tony Tennille saw this on Twitter. Someone had retweeted it or something to her, and she says it's very cool. I liked everything in high school. Yes, I liked the Captain and Tennille. I just lost any street creds I ever owned. But I liked all kinds of music. When I was 17 years old, I met a guy named Jim Matheson, and he worked at the radio station. Our house had burnt down. We lived downtown. My brother came up in our apartment one day, and he was huffing and puffing and said, oh my God, there's a real radio guy who lives downstairs. And so he knew I wanted to get a radio, my little brother, Charles. So I went downstairs, and he became a mentor of mine and taught me an awful lot about radio. And I don't know where Jim Matheson is. He's in Nova Scotia or something, but I have no idea where he is. But anyway, he taught me to like all kinds of music. He said, you're too into rock and roll. You got to get into other stuff. So he would teach me things about the songwriter Paul Williams, and he got me really into Neil Diamond, and he got me into the Captain and Tennille. Not the hits as much as the album tracks, and I always loved Tony Tennille's voice. I don't mean this to sound like a disclaimer, sorry. But anyway, Klaatu, ELO, I don't know what else you can see down there. Hold on. I'm going to switch the camera around so you can see it because I can't see what you're seeing. Anyway, there you go. Firefall, Supertramp, Foreigner down there, the Hollies, Kansas. See, some of it's not finished. Kansas, Lighthouse. There you go. I've always wanted to share this with you. I'm proud of it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, and I don't have a black light to show you what it looks like, but see, just before I let you go, for instance, small Canadian band named after a gentleman named Garfield French. I love the logo, so I did it, even though most of my friends don't know what that is. Lynx, another very unknown band. Logo not finished. Look at the Dewey Brothers. Every individual little piece here, little dots, not finished on this side. One of my favorite logos of all time. That comes out really well when it's lit up. And before I leave, if I can find a black light paint, I'll put it on. See, Boston's a little crooked. I did it up there. I couldn't get the angle very well. But Bachman Turner Overdrive, look at Moonlight Feels Right, Starbuck. A lot of interesting things on there. But listen, thank you for indulging me. I wanted to share that with you. That's what I did in high school. When I was listening to music right over here with a B-grade Radio Shack stereo. I love this room. It's a very small room. My mother doesn't have air conditioning as I'm visiting her right now. It's really hot in this room. But anyway, thank you for humoring me. Thank you for coming into my bedroom. You might have noticed I asked some rock stars, what did your bedroom sound like? Jonathan Cain, I asked him. The last few people I said, well, like, what did your bedroom look like? What posters did you have up? What albums did you have when you left home? Those are the kind of questions I like to ask because I want to know what they were like before rock stars. Anyway, this is what I was doing. I was listening to all this stuff. So thank you for indulging me. We're going to be back in about an hour. I'm going to do a story on that Genesis, Nick Collins, possible get together with Genesis in about 10 minutes. Anyway, thank you.